So you have been all given the keys to Castle Gillencruz. And what I'm probably going to do is after this episode is over, so just everyone who's watching live and thinks, "Wow, this is really kind of weird and whatever." Um I'm actually probably going to work I'll pull this down. I'll take the recording, I'll edit it, and we'll kind of start in a happy place and I can make it all look good. But anyway, for those watching us live, thank you for putting up with this this craziness and everything. But so anyway, to kind of go back a little bit, you were all pretty much called in to the Uppsala Asylum to meet a woman by the name of um, Linnea. Linnea had basically kept watch on your correspondent. Each of you are what basically have something called the sight. And with the sight, you can see things called Vaesen, which are mischievous monsters, creatures of lore, and so on and so forth. You were all brought there. You were all sworn into the society, give or take a oath. I think our priest didn't quite want to go into all of it, but
we kind of bullied him into it, so I think he's good.
All right. And part of belonging to the society gives you access to something called Castle Gillencruz. Castle Gillencruz is a old mansion in the north of Uppsala, a town in somewhere in upper Scandinavia. And in this castle, you have access to things that are the society had kept for hundreds of years, so including a very large library. There are parts of it that have fallen into ruin, which, as part of the game goes, is that as you gain more strength and more power and more experience, you can start unlocking some of these areas of the castle to give you advantages in solving mysteries. But the library itself is unlocked, and you have now access to that. So as you move in, and you end up meeting your steward, the one who takes care of the castles, a very interesting looking man by the name of Algot Frisk. You get settled in, and within a very short amount of time, you receive a letter, and I can actually show you that letter because let's see, where is it at? So here, and then
may want to zoom in on that a little bit.
Well, I can share it with you.
I'm saying so that the people that are viewing it there on the screen can see it.
Yes. If I knew how to do that from here, I would happily do so. Let's see. Can I do this? That's the best I can do.
You could pop it out.
There you go.
All right. So this letter basically said, the dance of dreams, a shadow play of horror, mystery, and revenge. Let yourself be enraptured and terrified by shadow theater with clockwork as amazing as that of the master's constructions on the continent. Watch as evil smiles, good people go to their doom, and spirits come to life. Follow Oscar Hjort's encounters with the Black One, his struggle, and finally the betrayal which claimed his life. Hear the tunes of the enchanted flute that send souls dancing to hell. The show will premiere shortly at the Witchcat Inn, not for the faint of heart. And then there was a note, meet me tonight at the Witchcat Inn, and it was signed Olas.
The infamous Olas.
Yes. So when you were after you got this letter, you did a little bit of research, and you found out some very, very important clues. You found that the name Olas may refer to a private detective in town named Olas Clint. He has a small house in the middle of the city, and Olas has made a name for himself as an expert in cases involving the occult. You also learn that the Witchcat Inn is at the crossroads north of the town of Sigtuna. And when the society was rebuilt after the Great Fire at the end of the 18th century, this inn was actually used as a gathering place. The innkeeper at the time, Piri Harula, was a Thursday's child who had an inn with the society. And today, the inn is run by Piri's grandson, Sammy. The list of society members mentions a name by the name of Oscar Hjort, who lived in the 18th century. He worked as a writer and spent some time in Paris under Francois Dominique Sarafin, a famous artist who put on shadow plays at the court of Versailles. And just you found out that some notes on shadow theater originated in India and China and has been practiced for several centuries before the birth of Christ. So it is a very old art form. And those were your clues that you came to after receiving the letter. And I believe that your priest, Victor, had mentioned that, well, you should probably all hop in a carriage and start heading south to the inn. Mm-hmm. And that's where we left off.
I'm going to take bets that he's not going there for a good round of drinks.
I've got better things to do than that. But I am making sure that I have plenty of lamp oil with me.
Because that is what one needs when going to an inn.
Oh, yes.
Always.
Well,
you never know when you need to set a fire.
All right. So as we talked about before the game ends, each of you, besides your skills that you have, get an advantage. And what we've kind of talked about is how we want to do this game-wise is that if there's an advantage is tied to a skill, and this will give you a +2 to a certain skill once per session for the entirety of a mystery. So what I thought might be more fun and more narrative is that if there's a roll that you have to make, you can go ahead and give me a, how can I put it? You can go ahead and give me a flashback scene. So for as an example, I was giving Terry earlier before we started the session, is that let's just say, for example, you needed to do a research roll that you really wanted to make, and you really wanted to use that +2 on that resource and possibly, or that skill, and use it later on in the mystery. You could give me a story of somewhat of like maybe there was a researcher that you knew when you were in university, and they showed you a great way of how to study and how to pull in information, and that's why you were so masterful at doing this. Now, of course, you would do this before you made the roll, not afterwards, because then that wouldn't quite make any sense. But that is a way to use your advantage. So I'm not going to go ahead and have one created for you now. I'm going to go ahead and let you choose the time and the skill in which you want to do it. However, you will have to do it before you roll the dice, and you will have to give me a little bit of a backstory of why you have this advantage. So does that make sense?
I like that, yeah.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead here and read a little bit of flavor text for you on your journey down. So it is fall when you leave Uppsala in a coach headed south, and there's a terrible storm raging. Black clouds blanket the sky with the winds howling and rain and hail pouring down upon you, leaving you soaked to the skin. Lightning cracks across the sky and thunder makes the horses rear and whinny, but the coachman drives on with his whip. The journey takes 3.5 hours, and the storm grows increasingly violent as you progress. Through the coach window, you see Lake Malar in the west, its foaming waves splashing against the shoreline. Traveling through a pine forest, you see tall trees being knocked to the ground by tempestuous winds or split by lightning strikes. The flashes of lightning, you see large rocks among the trees, moss-covered lumps staring back at you. Suddenly, the Witchcat Inn appears at a T-junction, surrounded by woods, with Lake Marlar to the north and west. It seems to be the only building around, and the coachman is eager to drop you off and continue his route south to Sigtuna. Halfway between the inn and the small community, in the distance, you see a lonely church tower protruding from the trees. So just imagine that there's just this forest all around. You know that there is a lake nearby. Everything just seems black and empty. The inn is pretty much the only light in the distance, and it is still storming. It is still pounding rain. And the only sign of civilization is that off in the distance, above the tree line, you can see a steeple, and a bit of a cross peeking out over the tops of the trees. The coachman stops quickly, and he's like, "The Witchcat Inn. We're at a stop. Those debarking should debark now."
Well, pay him, and I'll step out.
As will I.
I will tip him.
And say that we are very dedicated to go to this bar, because I got to tell you, that's a pretty dedicated trip.
Oh, yeah.
The lightning flashes again because he's not covered. He's sitting up on the upper part of the carriage. He's in like oiled leathers, and the rain is just dripping down off of his hat. He puts out his gloved hand and nods at you as you give him the tip. And he says, "Well, I hope this is where you wanted to go. I won't be back for another day. So, but as far as I know, the innkeeper does keep rooms for travelers, and it's never usually crowded. But I would get inside and keep warm." And he takes the coins, he looks at you, and immediately just hits the whips, grabs the reins, and the carriage continues off into the darkness. You can see like the little lantern that he has on the outside kind of disappear very quickly into the darkness. So the Witchcat Inn looks to be a 2-story building. So I can go ahead and actually show you an image of it here.
Ooh.
So let me do that, and then I can make it large. Well, actually, yeah, we can just do that. All right. So you see in front of you, there is a main floor. There seems to be a secondary floor where it looks like there may be rooms, and there is an attic room, all of which is dark. Except for that main floor, and some of it looks like the second floor is lit at this point. You can hear some noise from inside the house. Across is a stables, a very small set of stables, probably for visitors or maybe even the carriage and the horses of the owner. But the one thing, and I'd actually like you to go ahead and make me a roll at this point. And I am going to be honest and say my remembrance of skills in this game is also very new along with you. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a skill to go ahead and make. And I'm going to have you all roll me an investigation.
Oh, wait.
So Victor, you get a success.
Actually, that's him 22 minutes ago.
Astrid.
This is
Okay.
now.
All right, so Victor, you have 0 successes. All right, so it's coming down. You're not seeing much.
I got 1 success.
All right.
I got 2s.
Oh,
Bunch of 2s.
You did not get 2 successes, though, however.
No.
You got 0 successes.
I got only 2s.
Oh, you got 0. So it looks like Astrid was the only one who saw. So both of you are just kind of like wet and your hair's dripping into your face, or the rain is getting into your eyes. It's possible that Astrid has some sort of hat, or at least maybe her vision seems to be a little bit better at yours at the moment. But you see someone staring at you from underneath the overhang of the stables. Well, you see a shadow, and you see someone apparently like smoking a cigar or a cigarette. For the small little like light of the cherry lights up, and you can kind of see an outline of a face, and then the smoke as he exhales disappear into the rain. So that's what you see as you go in, and the rest of you, I assume, are going to try to run for some sort of shelter.
Yeah, just head into the building.
Okay.
She'll tip her hat and then go into the building.
Okay. All right.
I will slowly make my way into the building as the rain is a gift from the heavens and the Sky Father.
All right. So it seems that there are a bunch of people in the inn. It looks like there are. You see a bearded man, kind of one of those like Abraham Lincoln looking beards, no mustache, but just kind of big chin beard, heavy set behind the bar. Standing around there, sitting at the table, you see what looks to be 3 people. A very nervous looking woman who jumped as soon as the door opens. You can see that she's startled. You see what looks to be some sort of a priest, also just wearing the black garb, but very the traditional with the kind of not really the little priest collar, but more the larger white collar that is long, kind of hangs over the black top.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yep.
Pretty
And
much what I'm wearing, correct?
what's that?
It's pretty much the same thing I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep. And there's also another man, looks to be a farmer of some sort. You can tell his clothes are a little bit ragged, but he definitely looks kind of like the salt of the earth type. His clothes are definitely dirty, more rustic. His face is even kind of like dirt smeared, but they're all sitting at various tables. The atmosphere just kind of seems somber. I mean, the rain is coming down, but the one that just kind of drags you out is the woman jumps like several feet in the air, pretty much when your door slam open from the wind, and you can enter. And the large set man at the bar motions you in. He's like, "Oh, my friends, it's cold out. It's rainy. Please come in, sit. I'll get you warmed up, get you fed."
Of course. I was told there was going to be uplifting entertainment tonight.
Uplifting entertainment? I don't quite know what you mean. It's a horrible night. What kind of entertainment would you get here?
Oh, theatrical entertainment. Now, make sure my voice carries over the entire room on that. The story of the price of what happens when you make deals with the devil. Lord knows we like educational entertainment such as that.
He his face goes really sour very quickly, and he screams out at the top of his lungs, "Sophia!" And you see come out of the kitchen area behind the bar a younger woman, heavy set as well. They definitely look related. But she might be in her early 20s, it looks like, possibly. But she's dressed, she looks like she helps out. She's kitchen help, big apron and thing on. And he immediately stomps over to her and grabs her by the arm very forcefully. and drags her back. Like basically she almost trips on her own feet as he pulls her into the back. And you hear kind of the doors kind of swing close, and you can hear definitely yelling going on. And ultimately within a moment, a slap.
Good job, priest.
Obviously not a lover of the theater.
And the woman actually runs out of the kitchen and runs past everybody. Everything goes silent. I mean, this whole scene has gone silent. She runs past everybody and up the stairs, heading up to the second floor, or at least heading up. And he comes out and he's rubbing his hands and he says, I am very sorry, my friend, father, if you came here under the pretense that there was going to be entertainment. My daughter has a bit of the theatrical in her, and well, let's just say there is going to be no show this evening. But I do have some good beer. I do have excellent wine here, and I do have a stew that would definitely take the chill away. So please, Father, and your friends, please sit down. And again, I apologize. I will. The meal is free.
Oh, obviously, you're a very upright man, and I appreciate your devotion to public decency. I would not mind a small beer myself. I look over at the folks that are at the table, kind of sitting there all somberly. Are they reacting at all?
The priest looks a little taken aback. The woman just her twitchiness pretty much she even becomes twitchier. The farmer kind of looks concerned, but like not overly shocked. At least as his expressions you get on the face. The door. So as you're looking around and trying to find a place to sit, the dining room is very much in disrepair. There's large buckets and even pitchers that are holding the water that's coming down from the ceiling. So basically, it's a very leaky roof that's coming down into the dining room. Otherwise, it's not overly. It's not incredibly like horrible looking. It's just very much in a bit of disrepair. But the door does open behind you, and another kind of heavy-set, dapper, very drenched man comes in. You can see that he has an oil rag of some sort that he's covered something and he's putting it in his pocket, and he stands behind you and smiles and says, so you've actually made it then.
Of course. How could I miss? What is it right here? Oh, the tunes of the enchanted flute that will send souls dancing to hell.
That concerned me. And I wanted to send this off to. I had heard rumor that Linnea has recruited a new society. He smiles when he says that. And he says, "Well, we share in a lot of we share in a common passion for things that go bump in the night. I am Olas Clint, Detective Olas Clint."
Of course. I'm Victor Afblake. These are my compatriots. I'll let them introduce themselves.
I give like a bow of my head and, just kind of a Valentina Backlund.
Astrid Eklund.
Madame. I am glad you're here. Please, let's go to a table. Let us talk.
I'll pick up my beer and I'll follow up.
Okay. Yeah, another person comes out of the back and begins. It brings your drinks at least,
Hmm.
and is like asking you, "Hot stew? Can I bring you any bread? We don't have much, but we have stuff here that's filling."
Is this the daughter that's talking to us?
No, daughter ran upstairs.
Oh, okay.
This is one of the servants. It looks
Oh,
like.
I see. I see. Oh, let's go. Some stew would be delightful. I of course, my friends. I'll take care of the bill.
He goes, very well. Well, we will not bill you. Are you staying the night?
I don't
I
think we
hope
have a
so.
choice in the matter.
Well, I won't hold you to anything, but we do have 3 rooms available on the second floor, if you need a place. And obviously, we do have rooms in the stables, but that may not be as comfortable in a night like this.
No, no, no. Rooms definitely for us. My days of sleeping in a stable are far beyond me.
All right. Well, I will bring you up food, and then we can talk later about room and board, or board at least. And then he runs back into the kitchen. It goes quiet again. Olas will sit down with you, and he says, "Yes, I'm glad that you were not late or decided not to come. I was here 3 nights ago, and what concerned me is that I had an odd feeling. Something wasn't right at all, and uh, I had to confirm my feelings, perhaps, and that's why I called. I asked of you to come in kind of a very cryptic sort of way, but having dealing with the society in the past, I know that some of you are very reluctant to come and ask for aid if directly asked. That sometimes a cryptic note works just as well, and it seemed it did.
Quick question. I'm assuming we're pulling like a table, or if there's a table near the corner of the room. Does I'm kind of keeping one eye over toward the other group that's sitting there. Does it look like they're trying to listen in, or are they kind of talking amongst themselves, or just not doing anything?
The woman seems to be, like I said, to herself. She's eating and drinking, kind of eyes over the bowl sort of thing. Um, the farmer's just kind of he'll get up and end up sitting next to the priest, and they'll start talking and seeming. But once the waiter goes back in, I mean he doesn't come back out again. Well, at least for now, anyway.
Well, up and out of character note to the other guy. Don't feel bad to cut me off. I don't want to hog the hog the spotlight. I'll pull out the letter or the flyer that he sent us, and it's just so well. There's not too much subterfuge in this letter that you sent me here. Devil worship, theatric. I mean, I understand that there's some young dilettantes that revel in this sort of thing, but still, it doesn't take much to imagine that there's something quite untoward going on in the upstairs, even if there is absolutely nothing that involves well, things not of this side of the veil.
Hmm. As I said, I want each of you to go ahead and I want you to go ahead and make me a roll.
Okay.
All right.
Which
so
kind of roll would that be?
a Kaiser
Yeah.
roll? No.
That makes me hungry now. Now I'm hungry.
Give me an observation roll.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah,
Cool golly. 4 successes? That's kicking it.
observation 30 dice.
What happened?
Astrid, wow.
How did I get 30 dice? Let me look back at this here. Yeah, it says empathy 30. What the heck, over? Let me
Oh,
look
it's
at my
supposed to be 3
stats.
probably.
Yeah, it's probably going to be
Oh,
3.
yeah, you put the wrong number in there. Let me fix that. Let me fix that for you.
You managed to pick out the feelings of every single person.
I'm like Professor X. Professor Lazier. Ha ha ha.
You got 1 success. Okay. So, yeah, Valentina is probably just kind of looking around or looking at the other guests. Yeah, both of you kind of pick up on the fact that Olaf seems to be hiding something. He seems to just be kind of, every time that he says something to you and you ask him a question, he kind of deflects it back to, oh, the society.
Yes, I'll kind of put the flyer down and going, and you don't need to, shall we say, dance around the bush, because there's probably plenty of that's going up on the Shadow Theater right now. So I'm asking you to be quite plain and direct with us. Why did you have us here? Unless it's for me to come and condemn the performance up there. I have no problem doing that. It sounds absolutely terrible and would destroy the morals if there's more than 2 people in the audience.
Wait, so you're saying that if only one person was in the audience, it would be okay?
Let's not quibble on that regard.
But it is an odd feeling. It is he says, I wouldn't have called you here if I could figure this out myself.
Well, let me ask you this. What do you know about Oscar Hiot?
A performer, from what I understand.
Yes, obviously. Did you know about his did you ever understand his history with the society? And I'm making sure to keep direct eye contact on him.
Yeah, he looks a little kind of he looks a little sweaty now. He's definitely he looks like he's definitely trying to think carefully about his words. And he goes, I don't know much about this, but I could definitely say that this is probably the doings of Sami's daughter, Nora. She's very much like her mother.
And what do you mean by that?
An odd duck. I don't know much about the family, only of what I've researched and what I've heard. You might have better luck speaking to some of the locals around here. Probably know what's going on a lot more. Like I said, while I am a detective, I still needed some expert help on this. My ability to understand the occult sometimes is limited. And again, he just nervously drinks what he has.
I'll turn to the other two. Well, obviously, we're been brought here for not just a mystery of this theater play, but also a mystery of why we're brought here for the mystery of the theater play.
So, a play within a play.
A mystery within a mystery.
God. Well, in that case,
Right now, Olas is looking like, is this the right society? Did I get the society of?
yes. Oh, hold on.
Overthinking.
Looking
A
directly.
mystery wrapped within an enigma, wrapped within a riddle.
As you can see, my friend, we do much better if things are spoken very plainly. This is all that you can tell us. You're sure.
This is all I know. If I would be able to solve this mystery, I wouldn't have called anybody. I would have solved it and felt very proud of the fact that I figured out what was going on. I would not ask for help if I had everything under control or knew what all the clues were.
Well, let me ask you this: how did the notice of this play come into your hands?
This flyer must have been passed around.
I see. And now this fellow Sammy, he doesn't seem to have much truck with theatricals. He says that it's all his daughters doing.
He has a bit of a prejudice against performers. I don't know the full story.
But so apparently there's been attempted theatricals here before.
Some years ago, yes. From what I know. But again, I don't know the whole story.
Well,
You see, that's why the other people sitting at tables in an RPG that possibly have information that you can talk to them.
Yes. Very nice. It's almost as if you're telling me to go and ask them something.
Perhaps others here know of things.
Perhaps you know things about the others here. Tell me about these other folks in the room.
Well, that one looks like a priest, and that one looks like a farmer of some sort.
God's teeth.
And
I can't believe I just said God's teeth. So you know nothing else except you don't know of any of the people in the town. You don't know who these... Very well.
I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. I imagine he knows no more about them than he knows of us. Probably less.
Yeah, let me ask. He has a small house in the middle of the... Named for himself. Okay, so let me ask him this. Klaus, how long have you lived in this town?
I have not lived in this town at all. This is not even a town. This is an inn at the middle of a crossroads. But I've lived in Uppsala for many years. I have a small business there, and a dog and a cat and a little house with a roof on it. Has smoke and a chimney. Do your friends talk?
Not particularly.
Not particularly. We much rather watch our priest dig himself deeper into every hole that he can.
It's quite amusing. It's become a hobby.
Oh, James, how far out of town is the inn? I'm looking at the map.
Let me see if they have the. I also want to see if they show the map here, because I know in the book there is a. They actually show the distance between the two places. Let's see if I can find that so I can show you.
Oh, okay. No, but that just knowing that it's far out of town, that makes sense. And it makes sense that he wouldn't know who's around.
Yeah, it's basically 3.5 hours outside of Uppsala.
Okay. That now everything makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely in the middle of. So let's see. I know there's a larger map here, but it doesn't really. So if I go to the Mystic North map and go here, I'm going to close this, close that one too. So here's Uppsala here. So if we come, so it's probably, if I'm looking at the map, it's probably in this like midsection here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This like the lake would be, the lake would be up here somewhere. So yeah, so you're kind of down here, and there's really nothing else except for like another town called Sigtuna that is off in the distance.
Okay. So yeah, this is really out in the boonies.
Yeah, there is nothing else out here. So obviously, you would think that the owner and his daughter live somewhere in live on premise.
Okay. So it's kind of like we got pulled over to Bolinas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I'm gonna stop grilling him so hard because I was getting confused. Anyway.
Yes,
So-
no, I do not live here. I came across this. I came down a few nights ago to kind of look at things, and I felt something unnatural in here, some sort of presence. But I am not attuned to like those who are of the society who have a sight, he says. Thursdays, children.
Rather pagan word, but I understand what you're saying. Well then, shall we mingle?
Yes, whatever information I will come along with you and listen in and see if I can read between the lines. That is what I'm good at.
I've got a hunch on the farmer.
I'm sorry, did you say you're punching the farmer?
No, I said I have a hunch on the farmer.
Oh, okay.
My goodness, the things that this poor farmer has to put up with.
The priest that's in the room outside of that he's got like the little priest outfit. Is there anything that about him that I would tell his denomination? Obviously, he's not Romish. He just looks like some average, Protestant priest.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he's definitely Protestant of some sort.
Yeah. Well, I will get up, take my beer with me, and walk over to the table with the priest and the farmer if they're still talking. And
yep, they are still talking.
And introduce myself.
He stands up. He stands up and looks like he gets very winded. He's an older man.
Oh, wow.
The priest. So he stands up. It looks like he kind of gets short of breath, and sits back down and coughs. And he says, I'm very sorry. I cannot fully stand to talk with you. It looks like we are brethren of sorts. I am Father Clarhead. Clarhead. Swedish name that I can't pronounce. I am Father Clarhead. Klarhed. Clarhead.
Oh, so what brings you here? Are you on your way to Stockholm or out of it?
I am a priest at the Billerby Church, about an hour from here.
Oh,
but I like to come here and have dinner. Sammy and his daughter are very nice, and I've known them for. I was the one who baptized the little girl.
Oh.
And your friends are? I didn't catch your name.
Very rude. Please introduce yourselves.
Yes, I am Valentina Backlund.
Astrid Eklund.
Very, very pleased to meet you. And you are Father...
Victor of Blake.
Ah, it's very well, very pleased to meet you. And the guy behind goes, yeah, I am Olas Clint. And he goes, oh, I I think I saw you here a few nights ago. And he nods and says, yes, I was here having dinner. So, what brings you here? Oh, and I'm sorry, my friend here. This is Jonathan. He's a good friend of the owner as well, and we dine here a lot just to keep Sammy company. He hasn't been the same since his wife Nora passed on.
Hmm. Was it recent that happened?
Oh, it was very recent, since the past year or so. I
Oh
have to
dear.
say, and then Jonathan goes, "Yeah, it's been about a year." Nora was a wonderful woman, but she had a strong interest in the unknown. But she was very talented. She was an artist. At the start of the year, though, she thought she saw a strange figure in the night and claimed to hear footsteps. And at the same time, she had a fight with Sammy about inviting actors and singers to the inn. Sammy detests all forms of art, and of course he said no. Something happened that escalated the conflict, and Sammy beat her on several occasions.
Oof.
Eventually, she had enough and left with the theater troupe. And last summer, Sammy received words that Nora died of cholera in a sickbed in the town of Karlskrona.
That had to have been absolutely crushing for him. I can understand. Well,
And
was-
not so good for her either.
Yes, it would not be good for anyone. For a child to lose her mother, or a husband to lose his wife.
It is
But-
unfortunate that he felt the need, I believe, to perhaps encourage her to leave through his actions.
Well, he is not a very patient man. He's a good man. He has kept this inn going. His great grandfather, I believe, founded this, and his grandfather and his father. This is a family institution of sort. Sammy is not as progressive as others would be, but it did affect him very very much. From what I understand, he locked Noah's room, and no one is allowed to go in there.
Hmm.
And since Nora's death, this inn has deteriorated. Roof leaks, boards breaks, the garden has become overgrown. And Sammy has worked hard to try to maintain these things, but it's almost like this place is accursed.
Hmm. And all of
Ears
this.
pick up, leans closer.
Almost as if her spirit perhaps is returned with perhaps an uncertainty about her, if you will.
Oh, since the beginning of the year, guests at the inn have suffered from terrible nightmares. You probably are not off. They dream that someone is cutting their throat with a knife, or that
Oh,
they're
dear.
being buried alive, or that sometimes they dream that their best friend is the devil.
I see.
Or they're on stage and suddenly another actor stabs them what turns out to be a real knife, and the audience applaud their death.
Well, those are some. And is this John or the priest that's telling us?
This is the priest.
Oh, okay. And those are very, very specific dreams. One would say, have any one of the guests been confiding in you about such things?
They come to me for confession and tell me yes.
Oh, well, I won't ask you for the details, obviously.
Yes. Well, not really confession because that is a papist thing, but to talk to get things off their chest, to what they see and hope that God is looking over them, which He is, and it is sad, but those who have stayed here have experienced that over the past year.
Have you ever stayed here overnight?
I do from time to time, but I've never had such dreams.
Hmm.
The farmer will pipe in and say that, well, from what I understand, Sammy's wife was very, very into the occult, along with her art.
That's scandalous.
But Sammy
Sweats.
prevented her from doing anything with her art, her talent, or her studies, as they were.
Studies?
Yes, her mother, Nora, fancied herself sort of a witch. And as soon as he said that, the priest looks at him and he goes, "Bite your tongue, Jonathan."
Well, I'm sure that term is used liberally quite a bit nowadays.
I just begin twiddling my thumbs under the table.
Still, it's very, very terrible, very, very distressing things, especially that it would happen so quickly, and all the disrepair in this at this inn just happened within the last year, not over the years.
Within the last year, it started falling apart. This is actually Sammy maintained this inn. It was immaculate, and then suddenly water started leaking in and boards breaking. And as you can see now, there's more pots in here holding water than there probably are in the kitchen.
Has Sammy ever come to you for spiritual advisement?
Sammy is his own man, the father says.
Still,
Yeah, he's a very caring man. He cares about his daughter, his inn, and making sure he works hard. Every time something breaks, he goes to fix it, and something else breaks. It's been quite tragic, quite a tragic scene. This is the farmer, and he says, and the little girl, I feel sorry for her most of the time. She talks to herself. She loses herself in thought most of the time. She's if her father gives her an order, she will not. She does not get around to it, and
she was the one who ran up the stairs. Yes.
Yes, that was not Nora. Sorry, that was Sophia. But she looks like her mother. Sometimes I mistake them.
Gentlemen, and I'll address to both of them. We're from Uppsala and recent the area, and I came across this rather distressing flyer. Have you seen this? And I show it to them, the flyer of the theatrical performance. From what you've told me, this does not sound like something that would happen often. Have you heard of it? More importantly, do you know anything about this? The person that's bringing out these flyers.
The priest picks it up and then immediately just kind of starts getting short of breath again. He goes, "My gods." All right, he does say "my gods." He says, "My God, what sort of... This is Satan's script," and he tosses it on the table.
I'll take a look. What does it look like?
It's the invitation. You've all seen the invitation.
I was just making sure. It might have been, changed or something. I just wanted to make sure.
Now, as you know, the young folks will find the most shocking, scandalous, and blasphemous things to while away the entertainment. But I noticed that there doesn't seem a theatrical crowd gathering about this building, nor does it seem like this inn would have such a crowd that would partake it normally. Have you seen anybody out of the ordinary that would be coming by to make preparations for such a thing?
I have not. There has been no actors hanging around since Nora's disappearance and death. Sammy won't have it. He gets upset when his daughter starts talking about wanting to do art or her shadow puppets or something of that nature.
Shadow puppets?
Yes.
Shadow puppetry.
I mean, as you saw, Sammy disciplined Sophia again. She probably ran up to the attic to hide, as she usually does.
Do you have any baked goods? Something that she particularly likes.
I don't know as that well. She's fond of eating butter cookies. They bake butter cookies here. She seems to be quite fond of them.
All right, I'll go and order a plate of butter cookies, and depending on how long they take, go up to the attic.
Woo!
So you're just gonna order the cookies and then head straight up the stairs?
Yep.
Would you like company? I would be pleased to accompany you.
It'd be good to have company, but I also fear that two people approaching a little girl might be fearful.
Of course.
Now, Sammy is there behind the counter. Are you just kind of doing this in his view, or are you just gonna?
Oh, if Sammy's there,
He's not paying attention. I mean, he's not at the table talking with you. He's off looking like he's doing accounting or something.
Yeah, I'll engage him in a little bit of light conversation also. Just the type of the weather. Have you ever seen anything like that? That sort of thing.
Right.
Just to have their conversation.
Give me a manipulation roll.
Okay. I'm a priest.
Actually, yeah, I'll have you come along with me.
Okay.
Oof. On 8. Wow, would that really be 8d6? Oh, on 8d6, no successes.
That's
now,
right.
Now you have the option.
Push that.
Okay, so go ahead and push.
What does pushing do precisely?
It gives me a what do you call it? A condition, but it allows me to get past it.
Yeah. So you can rest and.
Okay.
So would that be a mental condition or a physical one? Kind of pushing that manipulation.
Hold on, I'm trying to. So that would be mental because you're basically. I'm assuming that you are trying to catch her attention, so the others can go upstairs.
Yeah, I'll push myself to angry. Oh, weird weather we're having. I said weird weather we're having.
All right, I'm trying to.
I'm sorry, did you not hear me? I said weird weather.
All right, so this is where we're at. So, all right. So, yeah, so you push it, you get your success. He looks up from the table and he's just like, we don't have to get angry.
I'm sorry.
I'm a priest. All I do is get angry.
He goes, if you want those butter cookies your friend ordered, they'll be out in a moment. Now I'm sounding British. They'll be out in a moment. Can't you see? So anyway, yeah, he's talking to you.
Yeah.
You two go slip up the stairs.
Yes.
So
Sneaky, like.
So
Bryce,
yeah,
that's two characters in two different games that are angry, Bryce. I mean, is this a pattern?
Are you angry?
It's
Are
my
you angry?
specialty. What are you talking about? It's on my headshot and resume. Bryce Byerly, angry actor.
So you get to the attic. You see that the stairs are pulled down. So obviously someone went up there fairly recently and didn't pull up the hatch. So that is down. Are you going to go up the stairs and follow, or?
Yes, but I'll make sure to make some noise when I go up the stairs, is not to surprise her.
Okay.
Just not hiding not stomping up the stairs, but making enough noise that I like specifically creak a few steps.
You hear her voice. It's a bit shaky, and she says, "Who's there? Dad?"
No, it's just a bit of a stranger wishing to offer some support to a young mind.
Oh, well, please. She goes. You hear her voice kind of perk up, and she goes, "Please, please come upstairs."
And I go upstairs with my plate of cookies.
And I shall follow, and I'll pull the ladder up when we go so no one can be listening in from below.
Smart.
All right. So upstairs it's your typical attic. There's a bunch of trunks and boxes and books and old clothes all over the place. But in the far end, you see a large curtain that's been basically spread across the top of the attic. And she comes from behind a curtain. So when you come in, you can see her. She moves the curtain aside, and behind there you can see further boxes and what. Make me an observation.
Both of us?
Sure.
I have not succeeded at a single roll yet.
One
You know,
success.
dice auditor.
I believe Astrid did. So Astrid, I guess so it looks like Valentina was looking at Sophia, but you were kind of looking behind Sophia, and you can see what looks to be odd looking clockwork looking devices. And you could even see like what looks like to be a puppet of some sort hanging off in the back.
Interesting.
And she comes back. You could tell she was crying. You can see where her face is red, where she was slapped. And she goes, "Well, it was very nice of you to come up. And are those cookies for me?"
Yes, of course. And I go and get myself comfy and set the plate and like kind of make like a makeshift like tea area for us of like, have the platter in the middle on a box and have 3 other boxes to sit on.
I'll try to position myself sitting so that I can keep, looking behind that curtain to see what all's going on back there without being too obvious about it.
All right. She goes, I've been trying to. I had this idea for a shadow theater that came to me in a dream. And my mother was very much into this, and I learned this from her. And I just started writing things out. It was almost magical the way it just kind of came to me. A full story and a script, and I imagined what the pieces would look like. And it just, I wanted people to see it. I needed to get it out of my head.
It sounds like you have a gift.
Well, my father wouldn't say so.
Fathers are often unwilling to see the positive things their children might be into.
Well, since you're here and you know about it, would you like to see the show?
Yes.
Yes, I'd love to.
All right. She runs. She immediately like moves herself behind the curtains. You hear stuff getting knocked over, and
the two women were never seen again.
And then suddenly you see like the shadow puppets start coming into view in the back. There's some sort of light that's projecting from the background, possibly lanterns or something else. But whatever she's doing looks like real people going on. So I'm going to read you something here. She starts talking. She says, "A young man wanders through Europe, seeing things few people are fortunate enough to witness. He dances with queens and visits Versailles and the Palais Royal. There are people perform his plays and praise his name." And you can see like a shadow puppet of this like very well-dressed dandy person and all these other like dance people like in dresses and balls dancing around. And they praise his name, and his life dances along like a dream. But the people's revolution sweeps the land with grenades and fire, and those who are playing and singing end up dead by the side of the road. The young man flees, the song of the guillotine, and you kind of see the puppet dance across the screen like it's running away. But our hero returns to a city in the north. He walks through its gate without shoes, poor and mute. The house where he was born is burnt to ashes and his family is missing. He kneels by the side of the road, begging for coin, and no one knows what his name once was, and how it was sung in the palaces of Europe. But suddenly he sees things no one else does. Creatures creeping, flying, and crawling. As the invisibles reveal themselves to him, where he points them out to others, he is mocked and beaten. A man picks him up from the street and has him bathed and clothed. This man's name is Albert, and his mansion is a place of love and song. Our heroes perform his plays and sing to him day and night, and they eat fruit and drink wine. Albert introduces his friends and the young man's dreams, but they were all dancing together. But the dreams lie. It was you that brought me here. You asked me to sit and talk. We spoke of the future of the world. I have the right to refuse, you said so and smiled. But then you butchered me like a pig, one that hangs from the ceiling. You buried my body in unholy ground, without priest or consecration. And suddenly her voice changes. Now dreams are all I have left. I gaze out over the audience of the Palace Royale. I dance with princes. I eat cake and look up into your eyes, Albert. But you take my dirty hand, you summon me to Peary's room, and you make me a villainous proposition and I decline. You cut me up, I scream, not wanting to die. At last you are back. Welcome. And you see one of the shadow puppets basically start to like take shape. Be behind, like get larger and larger, and you start to smell this smell of like decay.
Ooh.
You both feel, Bryce and everyone else at the bottom, feel the inn shake like an earthquake just hit.
Mm.
And there are howls and screams, and suddenly coming through, like kind of like the ring, coming through the shadow screen, you see this like horrific demon-looking creature pierce itself out of the screen. So two things are happening at once, and this will probably make a good cliffhanger. But Bryce, when you're sitting there talking to Sammy, behind you, you hear thuds and like glass.
Dead priest, dead priest.
Oh, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that again, James?
Behind you, you hear like glasses breaking and thuds, like things are hitting the floor.
Oh no.
Sammy looks shocked as he looks over your shoulder.
I'll turn around.
Everyone in the room has fallen asleep.
Oh.
And basically hit the floor. Sammy looks terrified and he goes, Nora, no. And we go back to the upstairs. And I'm going to have everyone go ahead and make me a roll in a second, because this thing is pretty hideous. Let me see if they have the picture of him here.
Eat your soul, eat your soul.
Let's see here. So something to the effect of this.
That's special.
leaps out of the curtain. And I am going to need you to all make me a roll in a second for fear. So I just want to make sure I have the correct. There we are. Fear. All right. So when countering fear, being exposed to magic. Okay, so basically you're going to use logic for this one. And this is a fear 2, so you're going to need to get 2 successes. So it says the attribute value indicates how many dice you may roll. Add additional dice equal to the number of players present in the scene. So you'll basically be making logic +2. And if you have any mental conditions based on your any push, any of the pushes that you've done, those also get taken into account because each one is basically minus a die. But I think the only person who has a mental condition right now is the priest who is downstairs.
That's correct.
Damn it. I'm going to push that because I'm tired of failing.
All right.
Do I apply the thing after or before?
You should before it pops up, it should give you an option to add extra dice.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, like with my condition.
Wait, I'm sorry. What's your question?
I was wanting to push the roll because I had failed once again, and I have never succeeded at a roll.
All right, so you definitely want to hit that button that says push.
There we go. Finally, my first success.
All right. All right. So you're both terrified. It was
I haven't rolled yet. I'm just waiting for my turn.
Okay.
Oh.
Go for it.
I want to go ahead and have my advantage linked to this because my character has been attacked before by a Vaesen and is hunted by a Vaesen. So she's had to become stronger in dealing with the fear that these things breathe upon you.
All right. So basically for the rest of this adventure, and we can, make a note of that, any basically logic tests that come up basically around fear, we'll get that +2 roll.
Still only 1 success. Didn't get that too.
So both of you are terrified. The creature actually goes right through you, and you feel like I'm sorry. What?
If you push it, does it potentially add to the roll, or just re-rolls it? I'm not sure how that works.
I believe it just re-rolls it. Then you take
it just re-rolls it.
All right. Well, I'll take the hit. Take the hit then.
Yeah, and really, everything that happens is you're terrified. The creature goes right through you, and then dissipates, and goes basically to where the hatch is in the attic, and goes to the floor, and then downstairs. And then Bryce, where you're at right now, everyone is asleep.
Including Sammy, or is he still?
Sammy is still awake, and he said, he looks and he goes, "Nora, no," and he basically runs for the door and out into the street. And I think. Yep. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying. So everyone went to sleep. I heard. Obviously, I think there's something going on upstairs. Do I hear or see anything coming down the stairs?
No. At this point, no. But you felt the house shake. Like something picked it up and rattled the entire building.
Oh, Greg just came into the chat and says we got to start over again. So I will turn around and head up the stairs.
Maybe the monster will reach you. Wah, 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 wah.
Oh no.
There is no monster, and it looks like the hatch to the attic is closed.
Oh, that's right. We did that.
Yeah. I pull on the hatch.
Okay. Of those of you in the attic, you hear the door slam down, or the thing for the attic comes coming down.
Well, if we have a chance for an action, I'm not really focused on the attic. I'm more like yanking the curtain out of the way and seeing what's going on with the girl behind it.
Yeah, my instinct was to try and tackle the girl and make sure that she's safe.
Tackle her,
not like football tackle her.
First you're like punching the farmer, now you're tackling the girl. What is with this?
It's not like a death tackle. It's like a save the child hug tackle.
What's going to be next? High sticking the innkeeper?
I mean, I am Canadian.
I know.
What we do.
That's why I said it.
All right. So yeah, you can make it up. So you go in and so are you grabbing the girl? I mean, she looks like very confused at this point.
I want to just like.
I was more like wanting to lay eyes on her and make sure nothing horrible was happening to her.
All right.
Yeah.
Both of you can make me an empathy roll.
Empathy. Damn.
Yet.
All right. I mean, she does look confused. I mean, you don't pick up really anything else. She's shaking, almost like she has no idea what happened.
So are there any puppets that look like they could have formed that skeletal looking thing there?
No, they were all they all look like they're dressed in like 18th century finery, both men and women puppets.
Do they look like they are something she put together, or maybe they're older?
It looks like they're older. It looks like something like a master puppeteer would put together. Like it doesn't look something like it doesn't look like something a young girl like that could put together.
That goes together in my character's mind because she mentioned Palais Royal, and the creator of this entire sock puppetry sort of thing performed there, and now I'm thinking there's a connection.
Yes, the sock puppet shadow theater.
That's right. The sock puppet shadow theater.
With the googly eyes that you can see from behind the...
Exactly.
But she does, she's just sitting there staring, her mouth gaping open. Like she just doesn't know what to do or how to respond.
My dear,
Bryce,
what just happened?
You're up there now, by the way.
What happened?
Are you okay?
I don't know. I was just telling the story, the one that I memorized, the one from my dream. What? This never happened when I practiced it. I don't understand what happened. And then she jumps and she sees Victor, Father Victor in the background.
Please, Father, don't beat me, she says. Oh, maybe not.
Obviously, you need to get a hold of yourself. No, I'll put on my most, sympathetic thing and going, child, it's nothing to fear. What? And I'll look at the other two ladies and go, what just happened? Everyone downstairs is stone asleep, and our good host has fled into the street.
We don't know what happened, but there was a specter that came from behind the curtain during the performance and went downstairs through the hatch in the floor. I believe that I know of a connection between something that was mentioned in my research about these type of light plays and the creator of the art because of what was mentioned during the performance. And I believe these may have once belonged to him.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I'll just get on my knee and be very gentle and then going, young lady, are you okay?
She goes, yes, this has never happened before. I played with these things since I was a child. They've been in the attic here for such a long time.
This
And
is not
then
your fault.
I started having dreams, and that's and I was dreaming that, well, I was a man in my dreams, and the story that I'm telling was what I saw in my dreams, what I experienced of being uh, being very wealthy and very well revered, and then running away as a pauper, and then finding that I had talent of sorts. But it could be there's a ghost that has been around for the past year.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it. It has gone through my room.
Has it spoken to you?
No, 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 not at all. It's and I dare not mention it to my father.
It's all right.
He's
I
he's
will
very
speak to your father and make sure that no harm comes to you. But tell me, child, and you have to be honest with me. Did you recognize the ghost?
I did not.
Was it the ghost of a man or a woman or something else?
It's the ghost of a man.
Can you describe him?
I'm seeing through his eyes in my dream.
But you saw the ghost in your room. Did you not see him then?
It's a poltergeist of I
Ah,
do not see a form.
okay.
And I found some notes that my mother had written about something that she referred to as the Witchcat Ghost.
The Witchcat Ghost.
Yes, my mother
Of
was
the
collecting.
Witchcat Inn.
Can you show that to us?
Well, it's in my mother's room and it's locked, and the only one who has the key is my father.
I think it's time to have a discussion with your father. But I will do that, child. In the meantime, just calm yourself, and we'll make sure that nothing like this happens again. And I'll turn to the going. And if you ladies don't mind, I'm going to have a discussion with our host.
Yes, I'll stay here with the girl and offer my support however I can.
And I will take a closer look at these puppets and the equipment back here.
All right, so Father Victor, you run down the stairs, and
Yeah, I will. And for, oh, I totally. Oh well. In my haste, I totally forgot to bring my dog with me. He's still comfortably at the castle.
okay, or in the carriage on his way to like. No, you would have left him back at the castle.
Yeah.
No.
I will. I'll head downstairs. I'll just do a quick look, make sure nobody's injured themselves in the falls. But then follow out where Sammy went.
Yeah, they're still alive, just asleep.
Oh, okay. In that case, I'll pull up my collar, put on my hat, and head out into the downpour.
All right. It's still pretty shitty weather out. Still lightning storm going on in the background. But you can see off in the distance that the stable doors are wide open.
I'll make a beeline straight to the stables.
All right. You run across the
one question before I head out. is there like a lantern or something that's in the inn that I can pick up? If not, it's no
On
big
the
deal.
outside, there's a lantern that you would just take off the wall in the front and carry it with you when you're outside.
That's what I will do exactly.
All right. So you
And
go
I'll call out his name, his full name when I'm out. So there's no sneaking up on him.
All right. So yeah, there's a crash of a loud crash of thunder and a flash of lightning in the air as you run over. It's pretty dead quiet except for like the horses that are already inside the barn. But as you're kind of looking around, you hear a squeaking noise from this. It sounds like it's coming from the ceiling.
I'll look up. Does it look like there's a hayloft up there? Or
Well, as soon as you bring the lantern up, there's another flash of lightning, and you can see what appears to be Sammy hanging by the neck from the rafter of the barn.
oh, good lord! I'll put down the lantern and carefully so it doesn't smash and set a fire, but and grab his legs and try to support him. And
right.
try to lift him up.
All right. I need you to go ahead and make me a logic roll. Again, this is for fear.
Okay. Well, bam. Oh.
All right. You're a little creeped out at the site, but I'll say that you're able to. You're a priest. You're used to dead bodies.
He's dead.
Yeah, you go up and you cut down the body.
Yeah, I'll take him. I'll take him down. That was
right.
really quick. I'll make a quick investigation. Is his necklace snapped, or did he just strangle that quickly?
It looks like when he basically stood on one of the lofts and then jumped down.
Oh.
So his neck is snapped. However, there is something that you see on his body that is a little disturbing.
Yeah, disturbing on the dead body. This is good.
Whose body was this again?
Sammy.
The innkeep.
Yes.
And
so I'll look at it.
Yeah, written across his forehead in what looks to be blood. It says Peary the traitor.
Right, bro.
I'll pick up the lantern again, and I'll look around. It's just like, and I'll call out, "Unclean beast, show yourself!"
Your voice kind of echoes out in the barn, but drowned out by the rain on the outside. And we will go ahead and we will stop here for the evening. And pick up. Yeah. So, and if any of you remember Peary, or Bryce, Peary was the Sammy's grandfather. Yeah, who owned the inn. All right. So hopefully everything is coming to like I said, coming together. Hopefully.
Oh yes, very much so.
All right. So I believe experience is, I just want to double check, but I believe experience is done after the mystery, not between sessions, but I want to look.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because I like the way they do experience here is because what they do is you get asked questions. And then for each question that you can answer truthfully, you end up getting you get a point like of experience to tack on. Then you can spend that or save it depending on what you want to do. And you also get to do it as well for your castle. So your castle also gets to go through an experience check with some questions, and then you gain experience that way to basically upgrade your castle.